Hi guys, it's Sue again. Just back today with a tutorial. I've just had a bit of a play around today and ended up making all these faux postage stamps. Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to get in behind my tripod there. So I've made all these faux postage stamps today. I've sat for hours and had so much fun just using scraps of fabric and scraps of paper. And just come up with all these cute little stamps that can be used on tags or pages, added to other embellishments. Yeah, so I just thought I'd show you as how they're done. What I did, they're not hard, and we've all got scraps. I know we've all got scraps. So they're all different sizes and shapes. I didn't want them all to be the one size, so that's what I've managed to do in a couple of hours today. So there's heaps there, heaps and heaps. So I thought I'd just quickly run through and show you what I've done. So what you need is just scraps of fabric if you've got fabric. If you don't have fabric, you can use cardstock. It's not a problem. So what I've used here is just some Osnaburg, some linen and some calico. I've also just dug out just before a little bit of strip of pink that I had. This is just a scrap of calico, and this is just a scrap of Osnaburg that I had as well. So you don't even have to have big strips like this. You can have little pieces and cut them down. So so you'll need some pinking shears for fabric, so good sharp pinking shears, and just some, if you're going to do cardstock, some decorative scissors as well. I forgot I had these, so I thought I'll just do a couple with cardstock with you this afternoon. So basically there's no measuring. I wanted them all different sizes, as I said, because your pages are different, your tags are different. So I've just basically eyeballed where I've cut. It's pretty forgiving. So if you add your cardstock and it's not quite square, you can trim it down afterwards as well. So that's basically all I'm doing. I have got some there that I've cut earlier, but I'll just show you what I've done. So I've just cut all four sides there, so then you end up with a strip like that. You could even do, if you wanted to, just as an embellishment or a tuck, you could put a whole huge big piece of cardstock or whatever on there if you wanted to, but I wanted them to look like postage stamps. So I'm now just going to cross cut these into different sizes. Oops. And there you have the base of your postage stamps. Okay, so you can use any color fabric, any type of fabric. It doesn't really matter. So you get pretty much the same sort of effect, but a different look each time. So these are just some others that I've cut prior to this tutorial. So this is just calico, this is some linen, this is Osnaburg, and I've found this pink, pretty pink fabric. I thought I might make some out of that as well. And then I've also just used some craft cardstock. So I've just cut them with my decorative scissors. Same thing, you don't have to measure. If you feel more comfortable ruling a line and then cutting on the line, that's fine, go for it. But as I said, it is pretty forgiving. If you put your your cardstock on top and it's a bit off square, you can just trim it up. So here's a little pink one that I did. Now most of mine I've actually inked around the edges. I just think it pops off the fabric a little bit more, but this is nice and fresh, so it'll go in a nice fresh clean journal, sorry. So yeah, basically all you need is some fabric pinking shears, some decorative decal edged scissors, just your normal scissors, ink if you like to use ink, glue, scrap paper, scrap fabric, and I have actually stamped them all with this stamp here, just so that it looks like it's been stamped at the post office. You don't have to do that either if you don't want to, or if you have a different type of stamp, go for it and use that. So, and your scraps. Did I say scraps? So these are all different, various sizes of scraps. I use this to make Franken tags, Franken pages. Sometimes if I'm just looking for a piece of paper to put on a tag to embellish it, I just go straight to this basket as well. So it's handy to have, and anything that's small enough or not big enough to use as a page or in a signature, I just pop in here. So this never ever seems to get smaller. If you have pieces of paper or cardstock that have designs, all different designs all over, like this is Kaiser Craft Line Anthology, I think, and this is also Kaiser Craft, I think it's Scrap That or something. Sorry, I can't think of the name of it at the moment, but these are really good pieces to use because it doesn't matter where you cut, you get all different images. So that's what I'm going to start with today. I'm going to use these pieces, and we're going to just go straight onto a piece of linen. So all I do is I just basically put 2 straight edges about 1/4 of an inch in from 2 sides of the backing fabric, and then I just basically eyeball where I think I want to cut it. You can use a paper trimmer if you feel more comfortable using a paper trimmer. That's fine as well. So there you can see that fits in there pretty squarely. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink up the sides. As I said, you don't have to use ink if you don't want to. I just like ink. Just gives it that bit more of a vintage look. And also it hides any imperfections as well. So with this stamp, I'm just going to stamp partial stamp, not the whole stamp. You could use the whole stamp if you wanted to, but I didn't want to take it away from the actual image there. So, and I'm just using a scrap piece of cardstock here. You can see where I've been stamping before. And then all my glue is all gluggy. So then all you do is you just glue it. If I can get my glue to come out. Just glue it on there, try and square it up as much as you can. And how easy is that? You've got a faux postage stamp. I think they're so cute. Now, as I said, this has probably been done before. I was just sitting at my desk trying to get creative today and found my good fabric pinking shears, grabbed a scrap of fabric and started cutting. And then I cut some squares and thought, oh, they look like postage stamps. So grabbed my scrap box out, and this is what happened. So, as I said, if you don't have fabric, I'm a quilter, so I have an overabundance of fabric. You can just use cardstock, works the same. So probably what I would do though, if I was using cardstock, and this has given me an idea too. I've got so many 12-inch sheets of cardstock. I used to do the 12-inch traditional scrapbooking, and I've got so much cardstock, I need to use it up. So I could use it up and do some of these stamps. So we might go maybe something like this. So once again, put two straight edges about 1/4 of an inch approximately in from 2 sides of your postage stamp base, and just roughly cut it. It's very crooked. And ink. And glue. And it's that easy. So easy and so much fun. It's pretty much something, if you're not feeling overly creative, it's probably something that you can make without having to think too much about it. So there you have it. So as you can see up the top here, I don't know, this is crooked to me. You can see that's crooked. So all it means is just getting your scissors and straightening it up. I would just re-ink that. And there you have another postage stamp on cardstock. So that's pretty much it, guys. I really can't show you much more, but I'll just show you some of the ones that I've made. It's just so many different effects. Like this was, I obviously didn't ink around that, and I didn't stamp on that because I didn't particularly want the stamp over the swan. Different sizes, different shapes, you know, like you can make them to suit any journals that you're doing. Great on tags, great on just to decorate the tops of pages. You could even use them as banners on the top of your pages. This one, the bird's head was gone, but I still put it on there. So it's just endless. Same as like if you've got just some polka dot card, I've just put that on there and then stamped it. So it's, you could use anything. And if you didn't want to use just paper on the top, I don't see why you couldn't use little scraps of fabric as well. You could even, if you wanted to use fabric, you could even sew around that. So I just wanted something that was easy and accessible for most people. Not everybody has a sewing machine, but I'm sure most people that have been paper crafting for a while have scraps, and cardstock scraps at least if you don't have fabric. So I hope you enjoyed this, and you can create a few postage stamps yourself. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. I've got some new tutorials in the works at the moment, so I'm all excited about getting them filmed and hoping to inspire some people. So if you don't already follow me on Instagram, I'm Paper Inspirations over there. Head on over and just tag me. I'd love to see if you make some postage stamps and just see what you come up with. So thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully I'll be back again soon with another tutorial. See you later. Bye-bye.